Ed's riding in a area where he's not supposed to ride because they're mining, they're blasting, right? So of course, what's going to happen in the end? He's sitting on his snowmobile. He's got his map open because he's lost, and of course, then you hear the blast horn, right? Because I mean, in the beginning, he passes a sign that goes "danger," like because they're blasting or whatever. So we set it up that way. He stops the machine during his trail ride. He's opening his map up. Then we go to the wide shot, and then all of a sudden, we hear the horn go a couple of times, and then boom, right? The fucking sled. So it blew up and like I don't know how many pieces, and there was shrapnel everywhere. But what was really crazy was the fact that we hadn't met the guy who had the dynamite until the day before. He worked and was a licensed, I don't know, demolition guy at a mine in Sudbury. Mm-hmm. So I remember, I mean, most of all the planning was like on a napkin the day before. Okay, this is the scene. This is what we're going to do.
It's always
right?
best.
Yeah. And then we got
the plan.
We got the guy, the dynamite guy, right? So we're going through with him. And he said, okay, well, how high do you want the sled to jump? Like how high do you want it? And we're going like, I don't know, like 8 feet maybe or whatever. We just need to know that Ed's blowing up, right? And he said, okay. He said, all right, 1 stick of dynamite will do that, all right. And I'll bring my big rubber mat and we'll put that down between the dynamite and the sled, and that'll dampen the explosion. And so finally we get set up the next day. And I remember the producer says, hey, we're going to get the Sudbury newspaper down here to shoot behind the scenes. And I go, not with me in the shot, you're not. I said, there's no way because, of course, we don't even have a fire extinguisher that I'm going to get involved with any, press, making a story out of us doing this with dynamite. So anyway, we had like 3 or 4 cameras set up. Most of them were unmanned because at that time, we didn't have a budget or whatever, but we got them far enough away and on the action, zoomed in or whatever. I was behind a cement wall. We give the cue to start rolling, and then we cue the guy with the dynamite, the blast or whatever, and we're rolling, and all of a sudden, boom! The sled, I'm telling you, man, it went like over 30 feet in the air and just blasted everything apart. I mean, the only thing that we really found was the cowl, and the dummy, which were, I mean, the divot was like 6 feet deep. I'm not shitting, right?
That's with his rubber mat on top?
So the guy thought, well, when he went home, he went, man, I don't know, maybe 1 stick of dynamite isn't good enough. So he thought, well, maybe I'll use 3, and he didn't use a mat.
Okay, so the planning stage with the napkin went right out the window.
And this guy's drive home to Sudbury the night before the stunt's going to happen.
And were you guys informed?
No,
of his...
we had no idea. He didn't even tell us what his plan was.
We gave him the napkin and he used it to wipe his face.
Yeah. I think the moral of this show is ask permission.
But anyway, it's on Sled Ed's greatest hits.
Sled Ed.
Yeah, Sled Ed.
Sled Ed.
Greatest hits.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy show. I mean, but it was fulfilling in the sense that you knew you were going to wreck something at the end of the day.